Well, it says we should be live, but I don't know. Jennifer's going to check and see if it's broadcasting.
I do have a button on my Zoom that says record now. So if you wanted, I could record it in case the YouTube wasn't.
We should be live, but I don't know. Jennifer's going to check and see if it's broadcasting.
Now. So if you wanted, I could record it in case the YouTube wasn't.
What the heck?
So it's playing on somebody's. I can hear it. Who's got it? It doesn't pop up here yet. So it's playing on somebody's. I can hear it.
Now I'm getting a feedback.
It doesn't pop up here yet.
Sorry for this, Marguerite.
Yeah, we never have this problem.
Don't worry about it at all.
You got it, John? What is it coming up under? Okay. Go.
Okay, I guess we're live and being recorded, and we'll be up. We're on the Wyoming County's YouTube channel. My name is Jim Pierce. I'm the Executive Director of the Wyoming County IDA, and I'd like to open the public hearing for the Alicat Wind Project. The Alicat Wind Project is a large wind project covering 3 counties. Parts of Allegheny, parts of Cattaraugus, and parts of Wyoming County. In regard to Wyoming County's portion, the proposal is for the construction of 13 wind turbines in the town of Arcade. The company has asked for some incentives from the Wyoming County IDA. So we have an estimate of those incentives that we will share in a minute. But I did want to let everyone know that the project application was submitted and was complete, that there was a thorough review of that the seeker process was for this project was handled through the Article 10 siting process. So there was not a need for a local seeker review. The other purpose of this public hearing is because this is a project that's not normally covered by our policy. It's a different type of wind energy project. We have declared it a deviation from our normal policy. And so subsequently, the taxing jurisdictions were notified about the deviation. And the other purpose for this public hearing today is because the project is anticipated to receive incentives greater than $100,000, we are required to have a public hearing. The estimated estimates for the project include a property tax pilot incentive in the neighborhood of $35,649,000. We're estimating a mortgage recording tax exemptions of $455,760. And we're anticipating a sales tax exemption incentive that will be requested in the neighborhood of $933,396. So normally I would talk a little bit more detail about the description of the project. But we are very fortunate to have at our public hearing 2 representatives from the Alle-Catt Wind Project. We have Marguerite Wells and Sean Perry. So I would ask them to provide kind of a quick overview of the project. And if anybody else joins us, we will take their comments about the project. So Marguerite.
Thank you, Jim. Yeah, so the project is a total of 340 megawatts spread across the 3 counties here. Originally, there were 14 turbines proposed in Wyoming County. During the siting process, that got reduced to 13. The project will connect to the grid in Cattaraugus County, so not in Wyoming County. There's no transmission line in Wyoming County. The project has a contract with NYSERDA, so that's with the state for renewable energy credits. We are targeting completion of the project in 2022. We have completed the Article 10 process, as Jim said. There is Article 7, which is a transmission line permitting process still to go, and a wetland permit and a few other compliance filings and lots of paperwork yet to go. But Article 10 was the biggest hurdle to get through, and that was completed in June of this year. So I think we would target start of construction at the end of 2021, most likely, and to be constructed primarily during the year 2022 and come online at the end of the year. Is our best information at the moment.
Marguerite, there are several community benefits regarding this project. I was wondering if you could just provide a little insight as to the benefits that have been worked on, both with the community host agreements and what the anticipated job impacts will be of this project.
Yeah, sure. So each of the host towns in this project, including the town of Arcade in Wyoming County, has signed a host community agreement, which provides for several $1,000s per megawatt to the town, separate from the pilot agreement. So it's just because the towns usually get the smallest component out of a pilot because of the way that the taxes are split up. We always prefer to also do a host agreement with the towns to make sure that they get a larger slice of the pie altogether. So that is in place with the town of Arcade, and as well as all the other host towns. We also have a road use agreement in place to protect the town roads. We're working on one with Wyoming County as well to protect any county roads from any impacts from the construction of the project. And during construction, we expect about 300 construction jobs at one time to be mostly hired from local labor whenever possible, and certainly it will be predominantly New York State labor. Everything from crane operators to civil construction, all kinds of trades. And because of how much renewable energy is proposed to be coming online in the next few years in New York, it's going to be all hands on deck in terms of getting the labor force employed on this project and a lot of other projects as well. So, and then once the project is operating, there will be between 13 and 15 long-term operations jobs. And those will certainly be hired locally in the same way that we have done there at our Sheldon Wind project, which has about the same number, has about 15 staff, I think, there. And those have been local folks that we have trained up. And so we will do that again here for the Alle-Catt Wind project.
So in terms of how these projects are viewed in terms of assessment, they're actually, the assessment is not based on the value of the turbines. In the case of wind, they're based on the anticipated nameplate capacity of each turbine.
That's right. When we do pilots, it's always been based on the nameplate of the turbine, because it's the easiest metric that requires no guesswork and no calculation every time around. I think one of the challenges without a pilot, if you're a host community, would be the variation from year to year that a different valuation method would have. If, for example, you were to use the capital investment method of valuing what a wind turbine is worth, it starts out high and then diminishes over time. And if you were to use the cash flow method, you'd have to be knowing what the cash flows of a project is, and it would all be variable depending on the price of power. And if you're a municipality, that makes it challenging to budget. It's helpful, I think, from a municipal budgeting point of view to know exactly what the wind project will pay you every year. And so we see that as one of the benefits to a pilot agreement, is that it makes a fixed revenue stream and everybody knows exactly what they're getting. And so they can build the rest of the budget around that dollar.
So in total, you're anticipating 117 wind turbines, with 13 of those to be located in the town of Arcade in Wyoming County?
That's right. There are 117 locations, but I think it is likely that we will not build on all of those locations. One of the variables at this point is that we do not yet know which brand or model of turbine we'll use. And because they come in different megawatt sizes, when it actually comes time to contract with a vendor and we have a little bit more visibility on schedule, then we will pick the turbine sites that reflect the size turbine. So we have enough sites that if all the turbines we built were 2.5 megawatts, we would probably build on almost every one of the sites that we got approved through Article 10. If we used a much larger turbine, we would need fewer sites to reach the same nameplate, and the project size is determined by the nameplate that got permitted. So in this case, 340 megawatts, and that's what the interconnection position can take. So that's what the grid is preparing to accommodate from us. So we use either more small turbines or fewer large turbines to reach the same nameplate. So we can't be sure that we will build on every one of those 117 sites, or even just those 13 sites that are in the town, in the town of Arcade in Wyoming County. But we know that we'll reach the same nameplate at the end of the day.
Okay. It seems like I'm the only one asking questions here, Marguerite. So.
You're putting Robin on the spot.
She muted herself.
I'm taking good notes, guys. I'm taking
Okay.
good notes.
Right.
Very good. Well done, Robin.
So I guess I don't really have any more questions other than the anticipated capital investment, the portion of the project that's going to be in Wyoming County is estimated to be $72,921,600. Is that accurate?
Yep.
Okay. I hope so. That's what everything is based on.
Exactly right. Well, I mean, that's why I think the method of calculating on the nameplate is the most useful one at this point, because then however many megawatts on however many turbines, you still know exactly what you're going to get paid, so that when we make the final layout, the final math can get done on both investment dollars and pilot dollars coming your way.
Well, since we don't have any other guests or anyone from the public on to ask any questions or provide any comments about the incentives being provided by the IDA, if nobody has any further comments, I think we can close the public hearing. Anybody have any last comments? Sean, want to get on the record?
I've got no comments or questions. I think Marguerite said everything pretty well.
Okay.
I appreciate the opportunity to give a little summary here. Thank you.
We thank you for joining us. And the next step is to provide these written comments to our board of directors at the IDA, and we'll go from there.
And what is the date for the next IDA meeting? Do you know?
It's September 10th.
Okay, great. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for joining us.
Thank
You bet.
you,
Have a
guys.
lovely afternoon. Thanks,
Thank
Robin.
you all.
See you soon.
Bye-bye.